In this session, I am going to discuss about Robert Clive. Robert Clive, known as Clive of India, hero of our art. He was the first governor of the Bengal Presidency. He is credited for laying the foundation of British rule in India. He began his career as a writer in the East India Company with his tireless effort in favor of the company made him as the governor. Administration of Robert Clive. Robert Clive, after over the Battle of Plassey and Buxar, Clive returned to London. Then again he returned back to Bengal in the year 1765 as the governor of the English Company. He was required to settle many affairs while assuming the governorship. No settlement had been made so far either with the Mughal Emperor or with the Nawab of Awadh, who were defeated by the English in the Battle of Buxar. Mir Jafar died. His son Najim Uddaula became the Nawab of Bengal. He was a minor. Therefore, the company had the responsibility to rule Bengal. Using this situation, the company wielded all the power, had not taken upon itself any responsibility. It had simply attempted to enrich itself at the cost of the Nawab and his subjects. Next, the servants of the company, who being unrestrained in the misuse of their power and privilege, had become thoroughly corrupt. All this needed the attention by Clive. So Clive has to made one by one the settlements. First one is political settlements of Robert Clive. Robert Clive arranged separate settlements with the Mughal Emperor, the Nawab of Awadh and the Nawab of Bengal. First settlement with the Emperor. The Mughal Emperor, after over the Battle of Buxar, he was at the mercy of the English. Robert Clive had different options before him, placed different options before him. First one, he could proceed to Delhi and occupy in the name of the Emperor. But he did not attempt it because it would have brought the company into direct conflict with the Marathas, for which it was not prepared. Then the second alternative proposed to the emperor was that he could free the emperor to proceed to Delhi, but in that case, the company could take any advantage of his person. The third alternative was that Awadh be handed over to the emperor, but it could have brought the Marathas to Awadh, and that would have endangered the English possession in Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. Therefore, Clive rejected all alternatives. The settlement which he made with the emperor was as follows. First settlement, Kara and Allahabad were taken over from Awadh, Nawab of Awadh, and handed over to the emperor, where he had to reside. Then the second settlement, the emperor granted the company the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. Third, the company in return agreed to pay rupees 26 lakhs annually to the emperor. Fourth one, the emperor granted the Jagir of the northern Sarkar in the south to the company. The settlement had all advantage for the company. The Mughal emperor was permitted to live within the boundary of a friendly state, Awadh, as a pensioner of the British. And his person and name could be utilized to serve the interest of the English. So the settlement made with Clive only that is only favorable to the company, not to the emperor. Then second one, a settlement with the Nawab of Awadh. Robert Clive had two options regarding the settlement with the Nawab of Awadh. First one, he could hand over Awadh to the Mughal emperor or could occupy it for the company. He did not choose any of these alternatives. He made the following settlement with the Suja Uddaula, the Nawab of Awadh. First one, Suja Uddaula was handed over Awadh. Second, the Nawab in return paid rupees 50 lakhs to the English company, English East India Company. Kara and Allahabad were taken from the Nawab and given to the Mughal emperor. The Nawab permitted the English to carry on trade without any payment of tax within the boundary of Awadh. This settlement gave again all advantages to the English. The Nawab not only became a friend to the English, but to a great extent a dependent on them. It also provided safety to the English possessions of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa against the attacks of the Marathas. Then settlement with the Nawab of Bengal. The English acquired the rights of Diwani, that is right to collect revenue. Diwani means right to collect revenue in the provinces of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa from the Mughal emperor. But the rights of Nizamat remained with the Nawab. Therefore, the English agreed to pay to the Nawab a fixed amount annually to meet his expenses. This arrangement has been called the dual government in Bengal. That is, the division of Diwani and Nizamat has been called as the dual government in Bengal. The political settlements of Clive were proofs of his foresightedness. The Battle of Buxar had suddenly placed the English in a position which immediately could make them the masters of larger part of northern India. But the company had neither the financial resources nor the military strength to undertake that responsibility. Clive therefore took no chances, avoided all possible dangers, and made settlements which drew full advantages to the company with no risk or additional responsibility to the company. Administrative reforms of Robert Clive. Clive introduced certain reforms with a view to improving the administration of the company. First one, he asked all the servants of the company to take an oath, that is, not to take bribe and presents. Because, as I already said, servants of the company were thoroughly corrupted. So, to avoid that, he asked all servants of the company to take an oath and not to take bribe and presents. Second one, transferred junior servants in Bengal to Madras and called in senior servants from there. Gave monopoly of trade in salt, tobacco, and betel nut to a board of trade. The profit of this trade was to be distributed among the servants of the company. The scheme, however, was dropped in the year 1768. He introduced a board of trade. Through the board of trade, he got monopoly in salt, tobacco, and betel. The profit of the board of trade given to the company servants. But this scheme was dropped later in the year 1768. The extra allowance of the military officers had become a heavy financial burden on the company. Clive reduced it. It was decided that officers in military, he introduced some reforms. That is, officers who remained in cantonments were to be given only half allowances. Officers who went out of cantonments but within the boundary of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa were to be paid full allowance. Officers who went beyond the boundary of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa for service were given double allowance. The officers who were drawing double allowances so far refused to accept these reforms, but finally they yielded. Clive also started a Clive's fund of rupees 5 lakhs, the money which was donated to him by Mir Jafar at his deathbed. It was put in trade and the profit was to be distributed among the retiring servants of the company. Then Clive's that is government, dual government. It was introduced by Clive. Dual government in Bengal was introduced by Robert Clive in the year 1765. It existed up to the year 1772. That is, after arriving Warren Hastings as the first Governor General of India, he abolished the dual government system. Up to that, it was there. Under this system, the administration of Bengal was divided into two parts. One is Diwani and Nizamat. Diwani means right to collect revenue was given to the company. And Nizamat means administrative rights were given to the Nawab. Company increased the rate of revenue and harsh measures were used to collect revenue. Regarding Diwani, the welfare of the people was completely neglected by both the company and the Nawab. Because Nizamat right given to the Nawab, but Nawab has no fund to generate welfare schemes to the people. So the welfare of the people was completely neglected by the company because company focused only on revenue and Nawab too. British appointed collector to collect revenue. People were forced to pay high rates. As they were not capable to pay, they left the villages and fled to villages. Company's policies led to famine in Bengal that was occurred in the year 1770. Then we can conclude. Clive tried to settle many affairs of the company within a short period of less than 2 years. But all his schemes were in experimental form and several of them failed. His political settlements served only temporary purpose. His dual government of Bengal collapsed, and his reforms in civil services brought no result. Therefore, Robert Clive cannot be regarded as a successful administrator. Primarily, he was a man of politics, and from that point of view, served his national interest best in India. As an administrator, he should be pronounced as a failure.